morning, folks. Robert Skorr here. It's a Sunday morning early, very cold outside. We're not going to do ribs outdoors. We're going to do it in our oven using our Skorr Rib and roast rack. This recipe we have here, we have a nice book, Daphne Oz. Here's sticky, spicy baby back ribs. Line a rimmed baking sheet with foil and set a wire rack on top of the baking sheet. Lightly coat the rack with oil or cooking spray. Then it says set the ribs on the rack and cover the entire baking sheet with foil. You don't need any of that with the Skorr Rib and roast rack. It's talking down here about using a double-layered disposable foil roasting pan, which is of course in the Skorr Rib and roast rack. And says you have to double the pan because it will be heavy once all that meat goes in, and it makes for easy cleanup. Well, what do you know? The Skorr Rib and roast rack. Let me show you what is in the kit. We have our cradle. Put 4 pans in there because it makes things easier for you. You only need one. And this is what we're talking about. You don't need to double this up. And it's strong enough. You can do a whole, I have a video of us with a roasted turkey coming right out of the oven. Cradle goes in. This cradle keeps the meat off of the bottom of the pan so that you can have water in the pan to help moisturize. And you can also put aromatics in there. Cut up some onion, cut up some garlic and what have you. Or if you wish, there you go. Cut up your ribs and throw them in here as Daphne did in her recipe. Just throw them right in the pan. We're gonna follow her recipe without cutting up the ribs. Here's our separator. This allows for 5 racks of ribs, which is exactly what we have today. Folks, all right, my wife put together, as per Daphne Oz's cookbook, a nice rub. Here's a Skorr Rib and roast rack, the cradle, and aluminum pan goes in there. I just want to point out some items in her recipe. The rib and roast rack, let me show you how convenient it is. Here's our cradle. Take an aluminum foil pan. Of course, we include several in our kit. And then the rib holder. You want to coat this? You can coat this. You don't need any aluminum foil on here anywhere because we have our aluminum pan that's going to collect all the drippings from the ribs. If you like, you can coat the stainless steel wire. This is all 304 stainless steel, never rusts, lasts more than a lifetime. All right, and then the final item is, she says, cover the ribs with sheet aluminum foil. You don't have to do that here. You cover the ribs, as she says, but you cover with another aluminum pan, and here you go. You're done. Voila. We're gonna do 5 racks of ribs in this setup, the Skorr Rib and roast rack. Can't do that on a baking sheet. You only can lay 2 slabs of ribs on a baking sheet also, which is what Daphne Oz's recipe calls for. Here with the rib separator and my Skorr Rib and roast rack, we're gonna do 5 racks of ribs and follow Daphne's wonderful recipe. Here's the Skorr Rib and roast rack. We got 5 racks of ribs ready to go in the oven. The directions call for set the ribs on the wire rack and cover the entire baking sheet with foil. So if you were using a baking sheet, then you would cover everything with foil. With the Skorr Rib and roast rack, that is not necessary. This is so easy. Watch what happens here. I take a second aluminum pan, I put it over the ribs, and use the lid locks, the Skorr lid locks, and away I go. Can you imagine? I got 5 racks of ribs over here. They're gonna go right into the oven. Look how easy this is. 5 racks of ribs, in it goes. Nice and easy. Now because I got an aluminum pan on the bottom, you can always put aromatics in there. You can put water in there, keep everything steamed up. But here we go. All right, folks, 5 racks of ribs. Done. Skorr Rib and roast rack. Look at how easy this is. 5 racks of ribs. Beautiful. Look at the color. Now here we did it without her sauce, but we did follow the happy cook, and we did put on sauce of her recipe. So that's it. No sugar. Nice wet saucy one on the back over there. Beautiful. 5 racks of ribs out of your oven, and look at this oven here. Beautiful, clean as could be, all done, all done. Now here, all right, there's a mess inside the pan. The pan did its job. If it's too messy, recycle it. Sometimes
It's easy enough to pour off into the garbage, and you can use the pan again. Thank you, folks.